Hello, this is Dr. Stephanie, the founder of Your Healing Place, moving you from panic to empowerment in every aspect of your life, just one concept at a time. I did an interview this morning that I thought needed to be recorded, and so I'm putting this really quick intro together so you can listen to this really phenomenal explanation of how stress can affect your adrenal gland and your thyroid gland. I know you're going to enjoy it because it gives you validation for your own emotions and your own spiritual convictions. Do you know that anytime you have a throat problem, a neck problem, and a shoulder problem, that is an indication that you are not using your intuitive power. You are not speaking your truth. And that will cause thyroid problems. Thyroid problems are caused by adrenal stress, and adrenal stress creates all kinds of other health problems. But at the end of the day, healing and wellness is all about a connection of spirit, mind, and body, not just what you do for your body. So if you're looking to embark on a natural health journey, make sure that you understand very clearly that if you only work on your body, you're only giving yourself 1/3 of your potential to maximize your healing. Why 1/3? Because you're a spirit, a mind, and a body. And if you're only working on a body, one part of yourself, you're leaving 2 other parts on the table, right? And so you have to work spirit, mind, and body in order for wellness to be a part of your 2018. So watch the video. I know you're going to enjoy it. If you have any questions or concerns, please subscribe and book a free consult. All the information to do that is on the bottom of the video. So watch the video. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. I had a great time recording it, and you'll get some information about how other people got a chance to express their ahas after the video. Well, no, not after the video, but after the call, we did a small Q&A. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it. After the video, I'll come back and say hello.
What that means is that life is moving by fast, things are happening quickly, and this is an opportunity for us to be aware of our surroundings, our environment, and especially our health. So when we come together and have these calls, it's for the betterment and understanding of what health is. As a naturopath, it is remiss of me to only talk about health from a physical perspective. When you talk about health from the physical perspective, you're only giving a person an opportunity to maximize 1/3 of their healing potential. 1/3. Nutrition is awesome and amazing, and we need it to maintain our cell structure, integrity, and proliferation of new cells, to restore our energy and all that good stuff. But if you're a spirit, mind, and a body, then only working with your physical self, whether you're transitioning from traditional allopathic medicine and surgery and into nutrition and more holistic things, you're still only giving yourself the benefit of 1/3 of who you are. So wellness, by definition, is not just the absence of physical dis-ease. Wellness is the culmination of spirit, mind, and body interconnectedness to the person is working optimally throughout their whole system. So here's the term: you can be how's it go? You can be so heavenly bound that you're not earthly good. That means you can't only focus on your spirit and not deal with where you are in the body, and you also, on reverse, can't only work with your body and not deal with your spirit and emotional self and your belief systems. So as a naturopath, it is incumbent of me to give you the whole truth of wellness and not just 1/3 of it. So today I'm going to be talking about thyroid and adrenal function. Thyroid and adrenal function is very, very critical to your health, especially when you want to tie in emotional and spiritual beliefs, because those are the 2 major organs of your body that are directly responds to stress. So let's talk about how stress manifests, but let's talk about it from an allopathic perspective. You go to your allopathic doctor, and he says, "Okay, Susie, how are you feeling?" He says, "Well, my back has been hurting, my throat hurts, I can't get a good breath, blah, 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 blah." And they may ask in passing, "Are you having any problems at home? Are you in an abusive relationship?" That's the extent of them getting into the reality of your stress level, potentially connecting to your disease process. However, If it has been identified that you have a thyroid problem, that correlation is still not made. Instead, you'll be offered radioactive iodine, surgery, methimazole or atenolol, heart medication because your heart will race, and a whole bunch of other stuff. That does not get to the intrinsic problem of what's causing the thyroid issue. So let's go back and talk about physiology for a second, and I'll bring it all together. Your adrenal gland is a walnut-shaped organ that sits over top of your kidneys. Its job is to respond to stress, and it does it in two different ways. Imagine a peach. The outside of the peach, the part that you bite, is responsible for salt and water balance. The inside of the peach, which would be considered the adrenal medulla, is responsible for hormone production. Whenever you go through a stress response, your adrenal gland is going to pump out cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. It will do that in response to somebody cutting you off in the car. It will do that in response to you having an argument with someone. Anytime there's a stressor, it's going to react. The adrenal gland will start to break down in direct response to as often it has to engage, because from creation, the adrenal gland was only supposed to respond to intermittent stress. Unfortunately, we're in a society where stress is proliferated every moment and every day. And unless you can understand how to compartmentalize what you're feeling and the belief system attached to it, then your body is always going to take over and it's going to respond. And so the more you use that fight or flight adrenal response, now your thyroid gland is starting to be affected. Your thyroid gland is located in your throat. Its job is to regulate body temperature and to produce hormones, T3 and T4, which regulates a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, a thyroid problem can turn into a heart problem. A thyroid problem can make your hair fall out. A thyroid problem can even make you have dry skin. But let's go back to physiology a little bit more, and then we'll move into metaphysics. And for this conversation, metaphysics will probably be equivalent to what we know as epigenetics. But I'm not talking about from a genetic perspective. I'm talking about above genetics, and metaphysical means above physical. So let's bring it back to the center. If you have a lot of stress in your life, your adrenal gland is going to speed up. You'll know that your adrenal gland has sped up because your heart will race, you'll have oily skin, you will sweat a lot at night, you'll lose weight really quickly without trying, your hair will start falling out, you will be very irritable, and your cycles, if you're a woman, are going to be very light or non-existent. Conversely, if you have low thyroid function, that's because of two interesting dynamics. Low thyroid function has a lot to do with grief and the loss of vitality. So if you've ever suffered the loss of something or someone and you haven't been able to process it correctly, more times than not, you're going to suffer from hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism will manifest in depression. It will manifest in dry skin, really heavy cycles. Your hair would get dry. Depression, I think I said depression again. But here's another physiological connection to that. Hypothyroidism can also be exacerbated by eating gluten foods, too many carbohydrates. Because the more you eat inflammatory foods, the more your body cannot produce hydrochloric acid. And lack of hydrochloric acid production will cause all the stuff that we know creates other health problems. And so you'll see that the thyroid gland, whether high or low, is directly responding to an outside stimuli, but the outside stimuli is having an effect on the emotions. Now we're getting to the good part. Your emotional self is your spirit. And remember, we started the conversation by saying you are a spirit, mind, and a body. If you are not connected to the emotions and they have been invalidated for most of your life, for most of us, then you're going to have a disconnection between what you feel and what you believe. Research has shown that most thyroid problems are a woman's issue. Women are very intuitive. However, if you are not clear at speaking your truth, saying what you need to say, getting things off your chest, then you're more likely to have not only thyroid problems, but also throat problems and neck problems that would also manifest in the tightness in the shoulders. So when you think about your thyroid gland and the tightness of your shoulders, well, maybe not your thyroid gland, but if anybody has tightness in their upper shoulders, that's an indication that the weight of the world is on your back. But if you do have tightness of your shoulders, the first thing you'll say is, oh, I'm just stressed out. I'm just stressed out. But you're not connecting the piece of the shoulder being connected to the thyroid being connected to a stress response, whether grief or severe stress and anger, and the allopathic system rarely ties it all together, giving you a complete healing opportunity. So when you have a thyroid problem, you're kind of left in the allopathic world of only dealing with only 1/3 of your healing potential. But if you are deciding to embark on the natural way of healing, you have to understand that you have to deal with all of it. You can't just replace it with a homeopathic or a remedy or a essential oil. Those things are going to give you a temporary fix, but it's not going to completely fix the problem because that is not the origin of the issue. The origin of any physical manifestation is the disconnection between what's happening in your spirit and what your belief system is about it. So again, the language of your spirit is your emotions. In most of our lives, our emotional self has been invalidated. Our feelings have been invalidated. And it goes something like this. Oh, you're a little boy. Act like a little man. You're a big boy. Don't cry. Boys don't cry. If you're a woman, you're too sensitive. You're overreacting. It's not that deep. After a while, you start feeling like, well, maybe I am too sensitive, and maybe it is not that deep. And if you're a man, you're saying, I'm a man, I got to suck it up. I can't let anybody see me cry. Well, when you hold those things in because of those belief systems, your body has only one option, and that option is to deal with whatever's happening in your spiritual system and your belief system from a perspective of a hormone production. And your body's going to give you stress hormones if you're stressed, and it's going to give you good hormone output if you're relaxed. So if you haven't gotten this yet, I'm trying to teach you how to move from panic to empowerment, and I know you're laughing right now because I can't hear you because you're on mute, but that's the whole process of healing from a naturopathic perspective, and I'm so committed to doing it correctly that I've created a movement. It's called Moving from Panic to Empowerment, and I've actually written 2 books about it. So they're on Amazon. You can get in the Kindle form, or you can order them the paperback copy. But at the end of the day, the takeaway for this conversation is, please understand that your physical manifestations has everything to do with your spirit and your mind. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's go talk about the stomach. Think about a time where you were angry, upset, stressed out, whatever the case may be. And the manifestation soon after was an upset stomach. Some people get the nervous poops, or you might throw up. Some people even throw up when they see something that really stresses them out. That's a perfect example of something that you can identify with, that your spirit and your emotions will have a direct effect on your physical self, because it will affect your stomach. When that happens too often, I'm not saying you throw up every time or you have the nervous poops every time, but when that engages often, what that means is your body, your adrenal gland has pumped out cortisol, epinephrine and norepinephrine to put you in the fight or flight mode. Whenever you're constantly in the fight or flight mode, blood flow must stop in the gut. it has to stop in the gut so it could give you the blood flow to your extremities so you can do exactly that, fight or flight. So the more often your nervous system is engaged, or your adrenal gland or your thyroid gland is engaged, the more you're also going to have some gastrointestinal problems. The more you have gastrointestinal problems, the more you're going to have absorption problems. The more you have absorption problems, the more inflammatory responses you're going to have, and you understand that your health is going to snowball. But understand the original cause of that dysfunction is not necessarily starting from a physical point. It started from you being upset. The adrenal gland pumped out cortisol, epi and norepi, and then blood vessels was constricted in the gut, and then it just becomes a snowball. So what is another way to look at wellness? Start paying attention to your emotions. How do you feel about something? How does it make you feel? Does it move you towards your bliss or away from your danger? When you pay attention to yourself, it's giving you almost a crystal ball of your potential, but you don't listen. Yesterday, I went to something called a salt spa. One of my patients gave me a gift certificate for a salt spa. And you go sit in the room, and all the walls is covered in salt. You walk in with these special slippers, and the room is filled with Himalayan sea salt, even on the floor. You walk in, you go crunch, crunch, crunch. And then there's strategic positions of Himalayan salt, huge lamps all over the room. Before I went into the room, I went to the restroom to wash my hands, get myself prepared for the experience because I didn't know what to expect. And there was a sign in the bathroom. The sign said, if you pay attention to your body's whispers, you will never hear it scream. I was like, whoa, that's from Panic to Empowerment right there. And it stuck so prominently in my mind because that's exactly right. That's another way of saying exactly what I just said. When you pay attention to how you feel, and you can connect how you feel with the belief system, and then that belief system has manifested, you've identified that it's manifested your physical dysfunction, then you've taken the sting out of the bee that could potentially cause you anaphylactic shock and kill you. That was a strange analogy. I'm allergic to bees. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know you're probably cracking up right now. But the point is, your body is constantly giving you subtle, crystal clear cues. But because you have not been used to listening to your spirit or your emotions because they've been invalidated through the years and you've learned not to trust it, your only recourse at this point is to only deal with how you feel physically. But a lot of us are disappointed with that because that only gives us temporary results, and those temporary results make us frustrated, and then we go, I've tried everything. How come I can't get this right? Well, you haven't tried everything. Remember, if you're only working with your body, you're only maximizing 1/3 of your healing potential. So I implore you to consider moving from panic to empowerment by connecting your spirit, mind, and body, and that is how you're going to get true wellness. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to open up the lines. As a matter of fact, I don't have to do that. If you have a comment, please push *6 so you can comment. Anybody out there?
Dr. Stephanie, that was a great talk. Beautiful mind, body, spirit, naturopathic healing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Reed.
I can hear you. Good morning. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is John Warren from New York.
Hi.
Hi. I really appreciate everything you said. It really helped me grow as a human being, and I just wanted to find out if there are ways that I could get some additional information on this subject from you.
Yes. Yep. I've written 2 books about it. They're called From Panic to Empowerment. You could just go on Amazon and type in From Panic to Empowerment, and the books will pop up.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well done.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Richardson. I'm sorry. Hi, Dr. Reed.
Hi.
This is Talitha from West Virginia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so my question is, so you're saying that it's important to be more connected to our emotions because our emotions plays a role in our spirit health and physical well-being. Is that true? Because I know that I've heard time and time again that we shouldn't rely on our emotions, or we shouldn't make decisions based on how we feel, because it can kind of lead us down the wrong path. But you're saying
nope.
Okay.
And I'll clarify. The language of your spirit is your emotion. What you cannot trust is your mind. And even the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. But your heart does not lie, right? But you don't listen to it. You second guess it and you start thinking. And that's what throws you off the cue.
Wow.
In your heart of hearts, you know that when you go see an allopath, he's going to prescribe something and you're going to say, I know I shouldn't take this, but I don't know what to do. And your spirit is going, no, don't take it. It's not good for you. You take it anyway because you go all up in your head thinking, well, the doctor knows everything. He's a doctor. And your spirit is going, no, that is not the way. You take the medication. A couple weeks later, you start having all these side effects. The first thing you'll say is, something told me not to take that medicine. It was a feeling, wasn't it?
Right.
It's the mind that creates the problem because the mind has been altered through the subconscious presence of your socialization. So our socialization could be anything from, let's say if you have a thyroid issue. If you ever had a thyroid issue, you're going to be able to remember in your childhood from birth to 7 where things are implemented into your psyche that children are to be seen and not heard. Don't speak too loud. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. And everything that's going to quell your communication. If your spirit is trying to get you to communicate and you keep squashing it, there's a disconnect between your spiritual and belief systems. You follow me?
Yes.
That will cause stress in the body because those hormones will respond to that incongruency which causes stress. And then those organs will start being affected.
Okay.
Did you catch it?
Yes, I understand. I'm also interested in coming to the event on Saturday that you were talking about, the women's empowerment. Is there a cover charge?
It's $25. It's $25. It's by an organization that I'm speaking for, so I don't govern the activity. I'm just a presenter.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Where
You're
was
welcome.
that
Anybody?
and how can we get information?
Yes,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Where is the meeting and how can we get the information?
I'm going to put it in. Let me see if I can grab it for you real quick. It's in Columbia, Maryland. It's called the Women's Empowerment Summit. And hold on one second. I'll get you the exact address. The exact address is
And the time?
from 2 to 6, but you have to get the tickets on Eventbrite.
Okay.
You know how to get on Eventbrite?
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, here's how you do it. Go to my website, and it's drstephanieyhp.com.
STEPHANIE?
I got a better one for you. Just go to FromPanicToEmpowerment.com.
Okay.
Scroll down and you'll see my event, and it'll be right there. You can RSVP them from there. FromPanicToEmpowerment.com. That's how you can get it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Dr.
We have
Reed.
3 more minutes. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Joseph. I'm from New York.
Hi.
Yes, what you said. Yeah, hi. What you say make a lot of sense because I notice whenever I visit my doctor, the first thing he always asks is how you feeling, and and then based on what you tell him, and I think the doctor evaluates starts his evaluation based on what you say about how you feel. So I think that makes a whole lot of sense. Because I think a lot that we give the doctor, right? They start their their process based on what we tell them. If you tell them you have a pain here, they'll start from that direction. And if you tell him you have a pain here or there in your neck and your back or whatever, and, you know, he starts his process based on what you tell him. So, you know, if you tell the doctor you're feeling great, and you know, and you know you feel, and you know you're not feeling that well, then he's not going to evaluate. Just go based on the test that your high blood pressure, your sugar levels and stuff like that, and go by the information that they get. And then most of the time, But, you know, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, that the thyroid is controlling most of everything, and then your emotions is connected to your thyroid and your heart and your, you know, how you feel and how you approach everything every minute and every day of your life.
Yes.
So I'm going to get your books. And I also want to know one more information before I get off. The hair analysis, right? If I wanted to get a hair analysis done, do I contact you online through the same process, through your email address?
If you want to get a hair, sure. If you want to get hair analysis, go to drstephanieyhp.com.
Okay.
And then there's a tab called Services. And it'll explain exactly what a hair tissue analysis is, and then you can click on it and order a kit for yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Doc,
anybody else have a Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, this is John Warren again. Good morning. I just have a question.
Sure.
I know when you were speaking, you talked about this three parts of human existence: the mind, body, and soul. And that
spirit, mind, and body. Make sure you say it correctly: spirit, mind, and body, because your spirit is the boss. That's the problem with our society. We put the mind first, and your mind has already been messed up by so many different things. You can't think straight. So you have to start trusting what you can depend on, and that's your spirit. So it's spirit, mind, and then body.
Spirit, mind, and body. Okay. So with that in mind, saying that if one area is not being utilized to its full potential, it has side effects in other areas of our life. It's kind of like the fight or flight syndrome.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
One of my questions is, my main question is, with the fight or flight process occur inside a person's being, and can it manifest itself in different ways instead of just actually running, you know, or physically fighting? Can it trigger past traumas, or cause a person to feel to procrastinate, or maybe I'm listening. Go.
That's called psychoneuroimmunology, and basically what it says is, even though you don't outwardly express a trauma or an insult or a stressor, it's in your cells. It's a cellular memory. And it will, if it doesn't manifest in fight or flight, it manifests in something that everybody's familiar with, an upset stomach. And that's because blood flow has stopped in the gut to give you the fight or flight opportunity. Whether you choose to fight or flight is how you decide to deal with that stressor. More times than not, you hold it in. And then those cortisone, epinephrine, and norepinephrine start going through the bloodstream, creating other problems with other organ systems and ultimately overall your whole system. But it starts from, and in the book From Panic to Empowerment, the first book, it actually teaches you how to identify this. It's called the 3 R's approach to healing. You first have to reflect on what's happening at the moment. And reflection has everything to do with what you're feeling. What am I feeling right now? My back is hurting. What am I feeling? I'm feeling frustration. Where's the frustration coming from? Well, I'm frustrated because at the job, blah, 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 and that makes me feel not even frustrated but disrespected. And then my question is always, where was the first experience of that level of disrespect? It happens from the ages of birth to 7, and we've created a story around it, and we interpret it a particular way. And now, forevermore, until you reframe that story, everything that looks like that circumstance is a trigger to your original thought. And that's why you'll have a continuously loop of the same emotions and the same physical manifestation. So if somebody has a constant agony in their lower back, it's probably triggered to feeling unsupported. If you felt supported anywhere in your life or you interpreted in unsupport, anywhere from birth to 7, that's the socialization when you're growing up, then anything that looks like that is going to lock your back up. So if you want to really get your lower back well, you have to go back to the spirit. It's telling you the emotional set. And then you got to connect the emotion to that belief system or that story. Once you reframe that story, you can not only have your body relax so you can heal that issue, but whenever you now give your body something natural to deal with the existing damage, you will now get better results because the underlying damage is still not eating away at the issue, even though you're giving it nutrition to heal.
Wow.
You got it?
Wow.
You need a whole class on that, Dr. Stephanie.
Oh, my God.
Well, I recommend that you read my books, and I'm going to start creating more YouTube videos on this subject because the reason why I wrote this book is because I was that practitioner who transitioned prescription drugs and surgery, but I didn't give my patients the other two pieces. And so even though my clients were getting good results with hair tissue analysis and Zyto scans and homeopathics and trace elements and botanicals and fields of flowers and rescue calm, they were getting good results. The results were temporary. And I'm saying, okay, God, what am I doing wrong? What happened? Why am I missing the mark? And then something miraculous happened to me. You probably already know. I had a baby girl. She was born on August the 12th at 4:10 a.m., but by 1:20 p.m., she died.
Oh, Lord.
So I only got a chance to experience my daughter's existence for 9 hours and 20 minutes. Now, of course, when I left the hospital, I was crazy. I would have paid you to throw me under the bus. And one day I was at the lake wanting to go walking so I could get rid of my evidence of baby bumpness. I'm sure that I had a whole bunch of emotions locked in from going through that trauma. But I grew up with the socialization that never let them see you sweat. Children are to be seen and not heard. What goes on in our house stays in our house. And if it's something was not going to kill you, it's going to make you stronger. All of those are lies. All of them. So that was my socialization. That was my birth to 7 mindset. So I did not grieve the death of my daughter. I did in a NICU, but outside of the NICU, nobody saw it. I didn't even let it happen around my husband. I think I hyperventilated a few times, and I just sucked it up. Well, that's crazy. That was traumatic what I went through, right? So what happened was I was at the lake, and it started to rain. So I got in my car, and all of a sudden, torrential rain was hitting me. And the first thing I thought was, I'm isolated in this car. Nobody can see me or hear me. Nobody even knows I'm in this car. And all of a sudden, I heard a scream. And I'm like, what was that? I heard it again. Then I started banging on my car steering wheel because I realized it was me screaming, and I was screaming to the top of my lungs, God, why did you do that? Why did you give me this little girl and take her away? Clear as you're hearing my voice, I heard the Spirit say, all of your health problems is a direct manifestation of unresolved grief. And until you dealt with the grief, you were going to die. And so I brought this little girl to you so you can experience it and learn from it. Your daughter was only here to give you this take the cork out of your bathtub. Because until I had lupus, I had cardiomyopathy, I had kidney problems, I'm allergic to bees, anaphylactic shock. It happened to me twice, almost killed me. I had prolapsed mitral valve. I've had a whole bunch of physical diseases directly related to stress and trauma. There's a lot of stress and trauma in all of our lives. I don't corner the market in it. But it wasn't until my daughter passing away that God showed me that I had to go through that to take the cork out of it for me to see that my illnesses were directly tied to unresolved grief, unresolved trauma, unresolved stress. When I got that
whole
concept,
ministry and Jesus.
yes, it is my ministry. And when I got that, That's how From Panic to Empowerment books were born, but that's how I was able to create the movement that my patients are now getting well, maximizing their healing potential, not just 1/3. Because when I tell you my story, you can connect your own story and start to heal. Because up until this moment, maybe nobody has validated your feelings to give you even credibility that you know what you're talking about. I've given you your credibility back. Your spirit is your boss. If you listen to it and let it guide you, you will not lose. But you cannot focus on your body alone, or can you focus on it first? You got it?
Yeah, Doc. How do you reframe your story?
You reframe your story by going and getting the book, because it explains it to you and it makes you practice. It's even a workbook that you can get to practice in it. But how you reframe your story quickly is you look at the original trigger and you look at it differently. And so here's my trigger. I'll give you an example. Until I was able to process what I went through, I saw my experience with my daughter as a horrible, 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 cruel, mean tragedy. And in my book, I even said, God, you must have blinked or sneezed when it was my turn, because you definitely wasn't there for me. I said it. And I say in the book, yes, I said it. I'm not an atheist, but the Bible even says, in your anger, don't sin. But it doesn't say don't be angry, right? So I questioned how I was feeling in relationship to my connection with how God was handling my situation. And so it made me angry. I was frustrated. And guess what? I went to China a month after my daughter died. And before I left, I took a hair tissue analysis. The hair tissue analysis showed me that I had low thyroid function, so I was already taking the minerals to fix it. I get to China, and we go to the oldest traditional Chinese medicine hospital in the world. The doctors cannot. The first thing they do is put my feet in some tea water. The second thing he does is he looks in my eyes, he looks at my tongue, he checks my pulse, he puts his hand on my throat, and he says to me, you have severe low thyroid function. You are suffering from immense grief. He had no idea what I just went through, but he was able to detect it from a physiological perspective, never asking me how I felt. So that's how I was able to come up with the concept of moving from panic to empowerment. And so now, when I talk about Melody, I talk about her she's now my angel, my spirit guide. She sort of guides me and supports me on this journey to teach people that they must be connected. And so when I think of Melody, I don't think tragedy anymore. I cry sometimes. I do, because I miss her. I miss what could have been. She would have been 3 years old right now. And I miss getting a dress for a 3-year-old for Easter and all those things that a mother would enjoy. But I have such reverence for the fact that she is spirit, because we are all spirit. Right now, we're just trapped in a body, but one day we will be free spirits. And that doesn't mean that she's not with me now. I just have to learn to cultivate a relationship based on a spiritual perspective. So that's a beautiful story, because of her story, I can communicate this to you. And that's how I reframed it. And I reframed it because I was able to recognize that me speaking my truth was necessary for me to heal. That's why my throat was my thyroid gland was messed up, because I was not speaking my truth. My truth was, I'm devastated. My truth was, I feel suicidal right now. My baby is dead. I fed her. I changed her. And then you tell me she's dead. What? I didn't let anybody see that at first. And the more I didn't, the more stress response built up in my system. And so I did have stress cardiomyopathy. Blood pressure went up to 220 over 190, and the doctor says your tests are fine, but your echocardiogram shows that you have broken heart syndrome, and they can tell that by a shadow pulling away from your heart on an echocardiogram screen. So this is so totally connected. I would love to talk to you about this like forever and ever, because this is my passion. But if you want to stay connected to me, I implore you to read these books, because they're going to deliver you. And then you'll be able to see you can have a breakthrough by implementing natural remedies, especially nutrition.
Doc, one last question.
Yes.
One last question. What's the difference between spirit and soul? You said mind, body, and spirit, right? What's the difference between soul and spirit?
Spirit, mind, and body.
Oh, spirit, mind, and body.
Yes.
Okay,
your spirit is the essence that God breathed life into your clay vessel. right? That is what's housed in this body. Your soul and spirit can be interchanged. They're not, but that's a whole other subject. And so I suggest you Google it. But your spirit is connected to your emotions, your spirit. And from a spiritual perspective, we speak of the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit never leaves us. It's always ever present. It's always that still small voice. That is the spirit that I'm referring to.
Is the spirit and soul the same thing?
They're interchangeable. People have interchanged them, but for your own greater perspective, I suggest you research it so you can get clarity on it for yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
What's
I
the
appreciate
second
that.
book?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of your second book?
They're both called From Panic to Empowerment. So if you go to Google or if you go to FromPanicToEmpowerment.com, you'll just find them.
Okay.
Are they on your YouTube page?
They're on my actual.
YouTube. I'm listening.
Their website. It's on the website from PanicToEmpowerment.com.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. This was a powerful day.
Thank you.
Awesome and amazing. And so, you know, we just had, we call these spiritual play dates.
Ah.
So your spirit came out and played with my spirit, and we had a connection that's unlike any other, and that's why it was so awesome. When you operate on a spiritual level, you'll have maximum benefit of life. And so that's why this call was so powerful.
Wow.
Dr. Reed?
Yes.
This is Alice Fincher. I have read your book and have had your hair analysis, and I've enjoyed both, and I highly recommend them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Dr. Reed?
all heart. Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Dara Candy from Baltimore. Real quickly, when you had mentioned that your baby had passed, that just reminded me a few years back when my niece was born premature. She died 5 months into she died 5 months. She died 5 months after she was born, and I mean the doctor gave her too much oxygen. But I was really upset with God. I mean, I felt a certain kind of way towards God. I was like really, really mad with God that my niece passed. But over the past few weeks after her passing, I just talked to God, you know, asked him to forgive me. But last year, it wasn't last year. It was end of 2016, 3 days after Thanksgiving, 2016. My mom passed away. So I was starting to question God, and I was starting to get a little upset. But no, I thought about my niece passing, and then no, I'm not gonna go back there. Because instead of that feeling, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But it was that feeling gonna have me give me anger towards God when I start questioning God. My mom died in the end of 2016. But Dr. Reed, this was very, very informative information that you shared with us. Thank you so much. Valuable.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm on a mission. I'm a naturopath, but I put a twist on it that everybody needs, because it's not all about what natural stuff you put in your mouth.
Dr. Reed?
And I was going to have a guest on the call, real quickly. I was going to have a guest on the call, but my guest phone service got messed up. So I felt a little kind of disappointed that my guest was on the call to get this viable information. But, you know,
It's recorded.
When you were saying about feelings.
I'll make sure that it's recorded. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that I'll put this together and I'll load it on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I will callers ask the question or whatever they want to respond to you. But thank you so much, Dr. Reed.
You're welcome.
Dr. Reed.
Anybody else?
Dr. Reed.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Reed. This is Carla. How are you?
Hi.
How are you, my sister? So I've been through a similar situation.
Can you hear me? You're breaking up. Hello?
I think you lost her, Doc.
Yeah, she just push *6 again if she.
I'm there. You know I'm there. So thank you so much for this, because, you know, it's definitely the whole process, and the Panic to Empowerment process has definitely been a healing balm for me, as well as I'm being involved with the 90 for Life protocol. So I just want to share that with everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, Jerome. How are you?
Before we jump off,
Good.
still
Dr.
there?
Reed?
Anybody there? Yes.
This is Argo. Peace and blessings to everyone on the line. Can you hear me, Dr. Reed?
I can. Hi.
I'm on my way to the office, but I really, really want to thank you so much. I'm listening. I've been kind of listening in and out because I'm preparing to go to work. But your movement and your book and your mission has truly helped me personally to resolve many unresolved issues from my childhood. So I know that we truly are mind, body, spirit. It's not just, we are more than just what we eat, what we absorb. There's a Dr. Elaine Ferguson. She actually also is a medical doctor, but she is on that movement too, to help free people from their physical, mental, emotional dis-ease. You have been such a light in my light. And, many of you know that I'm a colon hydrotherapist, and 30 years of working with people, I know that when you release and let go cellular memory of unresolved issues, it is truly freeing. And that's where the true healing is. Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'm going to ask you to come back and be on my TV show again because it's all about healing, but it's healing your soul. When we heal the holes in our soul and release them and let go the deep emotions that's locked up in the cells of our body, that's when we truly heal. So you've been a blessing to me. I love you dearly, and I hope to see you soon.
I love you too. You will.
God bless you, and I'll call you, and we'll set up another TV show.
Okay.
Because your mission is so powerful. It is really freeing people, and it's healing at a much, much, much deeper level. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great day.
You too. God bless you too. My Melody is helping me get through this. She was born for a reason. Anybody else?
Yes, Doctor, I have one more question.
Yeah, Thomas, are you going to be at the meeting tonight?
I actually am an official intern site for Morgan State University, and I promised those young people that I would do a presentation for them so they can determine if they want to do internships with me tonight. If I can get away, then I was going to try to shoot up there because their presentation is from 6 to 7:30. And if it's not too late, then I will do my best to try to get there.
Thank you.
Last question.
Hello?
Go on. Yes.
Hi, John from New York. John from New York. It's a simple question.
Yes.
It's not really simple, but I'm just curious.
Uh-oh.
Your Melody, did you feel her presence in your early development as you was preparing yourself to be the woman that you are today? Did you feel her energy? Did it kind of nurture you to kind of will your way through past traumas before you knew all this information and will you to this space? Like you kind of willed your way here? Is that?
I believe so, and I'll tell you. Well, if you get the book, you'll hear about the spooky story. There's a spooky story, but I'll tell you a tad bit of it. Melody came to me in a vision or a dream. I haven't decided which one it is before she was conceived, and I was in the middle of the night, and I heard this voice say, "Hi, Mom, it's me, Melody. There's 3 of us," and then she vanished. I can tell you, I knew exactly what she looked like. She was about the height of my dresser. She had 2 little ponytails and had a little cute little round face. And when I woke up, I was saying, did I dream that? Now, I already have children. My oldest is 30. My middle son is 28, and my youngest daughter is 23. And so at the time, I was 46 years old. So that morning, ironically, my husband said to me, "Honey, we've been married for a while now. Do you think we're going to have any more kids?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's up to God." Well, we did some investigative work, and I wound up getting pregnant a couple of months later. Because I was considered high risk because of my age, they browbeated me into getting some invasive tests, which I did not want to do. And I finally acquiesced because here's the thing. People second guess your ability, and so sometimes a prophet has no honor in his own town. And if you don't believe who you are, you invalidate your own stance. And so my husband said to me, honey, you're a naturopath, you're not an obstetrician. But my spirit told me no. Regardless of what I knew, my spirit said, no, don't do that. Well, I let my husband override my sensibility in terms of what I was feeling because I wanted to please him and not feel like that I was Miss Know-It-All. So I agreed to get this chorionic villi sampling, which included going through your cervix, and they have to pinch a piece of placenta. In order to do that, they have to poke the balloon. Well, they had to do that poke thing 3 times to me. And what happens when you poke a balloon? Eventually, behind pressure, it will burst. But by the time the test results came back, the lady says, well, your test results are wonderful, you're healthy, your baby's healthy, all is right with the world. I'm really excited. And she says to me, so, you want to know the sex of your baby? I said, no, it's a boy because my skin is so beautiful. Because we always look good when we have boys, and we look crazy when we have girls. I've experienced them both. She says, no, this is a girl. And then I grabbed my chest and I said, oh my God, this Melody. That was the first inclination that there was something special about this little girl. The other inclination is once you get the book, you will see her ultrasound picture on the dedication page. Her ultrasound looks like an angel, folding their hands with wings. That was another clue that she wasn't going to stay. So I'll let you read the rest of it. But yes, she is definitely helping me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll definitely get the book.
All right. So From Panic to Empowerment, the first book is in its second edition because it was nominated for awards. And From Panic to Empowerment, the book about melody and grief, is already in its second printing after 3 weeks because it sold out the first printing. So it's doing very well. People are being healed. Please share with your family members. And if you enjoyed the book, please definitely give a review for it on Amazon. With that being said, whatever one you want because they interchange. The story of Melody starts in the first book and then it picks up in the second. But the first book will remind you, Melody's book will remind you of some tips and insights that you should get in the first book. So I just recommend getting them both.
Okay.
Because they're so easy reading, you're going to read it so quickly because you won't be able to put it down. And I'm not saying this because I wrote it. That's the feedback that I've been getting from people who have actually read it already. They said they can't put it down.
Dr. Reed, my last word to you, God is really using you for a mission and a ministry. All our people that has been across the transatlantic sea in slavery have grown up into some horrible conditions. And
yes.
the healing of the mind is where we need to go. There need to be a melody remedy developed, like a rescue remedy. I probably would encourage you to deal with the people in the essential oils to develop a melody remedy that is something of a trauma blend that someone can maybe put on. And the way you take these rescue tablets or rescue oils, and then untrap ourselves, because when you talk about reparation, this is a reparation movement. We may not get physical money from the government, but if we all realize that we have to go back to those years of 0 to 7, and then every 7-year increment, and resolve those unresolved grief and trauma that is trapped into all of our spirits and body cells, we would have done what God has sent us all here to do as angels of melody.
You're so right. You're so right. Wow. All right. So this call I'm definitely going to put up on my YouTube channel. And so as soon as it's up and put on, I'm actually going to leave the questions in the comments because I think the questions were even helpful because it required me to give a response a little deeper than the original conversation. And so I'm going to leave it all. I think it's all worth leaving. And so with that being said, if all hearts and minds are clear, you have 30 seconds to say something, I'm going to disconnect the call because I know you have so many other things you have to get done today.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Have an awesome and spectacular day. God bless everybody.
Thank you. Have a blessed one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Also an amazing call, Dr. V.
Hey, it's Dr. Stephanie again. Wasn't that fantastic? The call was relatively short, but the Q&A session was actually even probably the best part of the conversation because we got a chance to expound on some ideas that we needed to really go a little deeper to make sure that everybody understood the concept. If you want to know more about the From Panic to Empowerment movement, you can check me out on my website, drstephanieyhp.com. Or you can go to FromPanicToEmpowerment.com, where you can get access to my books and my workbooks and my events that are coming up. I have a new book that was just released last week and is already in its second printing. So make sure you get your copy so you can have all the resources you need to move yourself from panic to empowerment. Have an awesome day.